What's up, everybody? Cash here, bringing you another new tools video for 1v1. The Menace itself, the only currently S-ranked mon, Porygon-Z. So Porygon-Z, if you played last gen, was really strong, was crazy strong because of the Z moves. And although there are no Z moves in Gen 8, Porygon-Z, after the first DLCs come out, has already proven to be extremely strong. It is S rank alone, and there's nothing even in S minus, which means it's basically like over a full tier ahead of everything else. And the reasons for that, let's just look at the stats. So we have the stats up right here, right? 85 HP, 70 defense, 75 special defense. To be honest, those are pretty average. Pretty average defenses. They're not bad. They're not great. But, like, they're not bad is the biggest thing, right? The thing that is really, really dumb is, all right, 135 special attack. You might be thinking, yeah, that's pretty high, but there are other things that are higher. The reason it's so good is because of this ability right here. Adaptability gives you, so anything that's the same type, attack bonus, stab. So for those of you who might not be as familiar with Pokemon, that basically means anything that's the same type as your Pokemon. So Porygon-Z is a normal type. If you use a normal type move, normally, so let's say I was like Charizard, right, and I use Fire Blast, I normally get a bonus of 1.5 damage because it's the same type as me. But with this ability, you get a double instead. Which means your normal type moves are crazy strong, and Porygon-Z gets Hyper Beam, which is like the strongest move in the game. One of them, 150 base power, plus the adaptability bonus, plus 135 special attack, which is basically, it's like that meme, the Porygon-Z goes burr thing. Like, it's literally like that. It's the Death Star. It just lasers everything, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to go through just a couple Porygon-Z sets. I'm going to show some replays of how Porygon-Z gets used. And then we're going to talk about, how do you counter this beast? And, what can I put on my team with Porygon-Z to make a good team? So let's just start off with the most common sets. There are 5 Porygon-Zs up here, but there is actually only three sets, really. 2 of the other ones are a little more gimmicky. But as normal, I'll post all these sets down below. So if you want to try them yourself, you will be able to. So we're going to start off with, I would say, the worst set, but also like one of the easier ones to use. Choice Scarf Porygon-Z. Basically, the whole premise is you just click Hyper Beam on anything you can. So the moves we have are Hyper Beam. Obviously, that just hits as hard as possible. You have Uproar, which basically is just another normal stab move that doesn't let you get, like, it doesn't make it so, let's say they like go for, they don't die in one shot, then you have to recharge if you use Hyper Beam. But if you use Uproar, you can just use Uproar again next turn and still win. Also is good versus like Whimsicott because it goes through Substitute. It's good versus Sylveon because it doesn't let you, no one can fall asleep when you use Uproar, so you can't get Yawn to sleep or anything like that. So yeah, Uproar, just a decent stab move. Next we have Trick, which basically will give your Choice Scarf away in case you come up against something that you can't beat. So let's say you're playing versus, like, some sort of stall thing, like, let's say you're playing versus Corsola, right? And obviously you don't even have a move to hit a ghost, so you have to trick it. It can't really hit you back. And then, yeah, that's how Trick works. You just PP stall them down, so they run out of moves, and then they kill themselves with Struggle. And Recover is basically to be used in conjunction with Trick. So you trick them, and then let's say they have a move that does damage you. So you trick. Let's see, what would be a good option. So we'll stay with the Corsola, right? You trick Corsola. They have Will-O-Wisp. You know, the Will-O-Wisp burn will kill you before they run out of PP, I'm pretty sure, with the struggles. So you just click recover, you recover all the damage you took, and you just wait for them to run out of moves. These are the EVs. So I'm pretty sure the defense is just because there's things with priority like Rillaboom that are going to be trying to hit you with like Grassy Glide. So with the defense, you can live basically all those moves. Keep yourself alive, and you really don't need any more special attack than that. The speed, you're going to be seeing the speed on a few of these things is this, 232. I actually brought up the speed chart for us. So if you don't know where this is, if you go to, you can see right here, right? You go to Smoggin Forums, you click Competitive Play, Smoggin Meta Games, you click Other Metas, and you'll see 1v1 in there. You click on that, and then there is a page that's like resources. Let's back up a little bit, see what exactly it is. It's 1v1 form rules, council info, announcements. So it just talks a little about the tier. You go down, you see resources, speed tiers. It shows you how fast everything is. It's really a good resource to use if you don't already use this. I mean, there are even good players who I don't think even really look at this as much as they should. But you can see where we're in here, I think, somewhere. Yeah, so we're here because we're not max speed, but we're pretty fast, or we're close to this. Basically, the speed is just for like Dracovish, for the Rotoms. Just keep us a little bit faster than that. So I just wanted to show you this, why we're running that much speed. You can look at this yourself and see all the things you're faster than. Highly recommend checking this out, especially if you're a new player. This is like an extremely good resource that I look at a lot when I'm EVing all of my things. So yeah, so we have that. So that's why it's that much speed, and then the rest goes into special attack with Modest Nature, because you don't need to be any faster than that, so you can just hit as hard as possible. Yeah, so Choice Scarf, pretty easy to use. You could put like Shadow Ball on this, Dark Pulse, like things like that to hit ghosts if you want, but normally I think this is the better one. Next we have a very similar set. You'll see that the EVs are literally the exact same, but instead of Choice Scarf, which gives you extra speed, we have Choice Specs, which gives you more special attack. I see this one has Dark Pulse on it, but you can run the exact same set. You can run like Nasty Plot over like Recover if you want, or like you could run Nasty Plot over Uproar. So we could like slash this, like this could be Nasty Plot if you want to. So that lets you basically, you could trick something that stall, like Chansey, then you click Nasty Plot, you get stronger, then you use Hyper Beam and wipe it out. So yeah, so Specs is the same idea, it's just extra power in the place of speed. You just click your strong moves, hit them as hard as you can. Very straightforward. That's why Porygon-Z is so good, because it's so easy to use, right? Like, I'm basically just telling you click one button and collect victories. So now this is the set that's, it's actually not this one, I think it's this one. No, it's this one. Yeah, okay. So this is the standard. So this set was made, it's, as you can see, the item is Troppleberry. I don't know why I put Speed Swap on here twice, that's wrong. Nasty Plot, Hyper Beam, and then you can run whatever you want here. You could run Uproar for like Whimsicott, or you can run like Eerie Impulse, which we'll talk about. Eerie Impulse is really good, and you'll see the replays, but we'll talk about that in a second. So right now I'm just talking about the EV spread. So as you'll see, it's got max defense, some speed on it, but like HP, special attack. I'm pretty sure that these are just so you can eat close combat from Urshifu, right? Urshifu is one of the really good mons as well, really common, and it's a fighting type, which means normally it would beat Porygon-Z. It just clicks its stab, fighting move, close combat, really strong, kills you. But with Troppleberry, you take half damage from super effective fighting attacks, which means you live close combat, you live Drain Punch. I have a replay where you see fighting a Beware, where I live Beware's fighting moves. You live superpowers from, Choice Band, a Zoom Roll, whatever it is. You live their fighting move, surprise them, and boom, you hit them with Hyper Beam. It kills them. You hit them with Uproar, it kills them if they sub. If you're fearing sub. So that's basically the whole thing. So yeah, that's the premise behind Choppleberry. The option. So what on here? Nasty Plot. That's obviously just to boost ourselves up. Like, it's good versus Chansey. You Nasty Plot all the way, and then you hit them with Hyper Beam. You Nasty Plot versus anything that's stally, that you think is just going to be, won't die to Hyper Beam. And you can't afford to let the downturns go by, so you Nasty Plot, and then you just hit them the next turn. Instead of, if you do it the other way, if you Hyper Beam, then you have to recharge, then Hyper Beam again. They could technically hit you 3 times in that time frame, right? If they're faster than you, they're hitting you turn 1 while you Hyper Beam. Then they're hitting you turn 2 while you're recharging. Then they're hitting you turn 3 before you Hyper Beam again. But if you Nasty Plot turn 1 and then you Hyper Beam turn 2, they're only hitting you once, and it's doing the same amount of damage as 2 Hyper Beams, because Nasty Plot's giving you double special attack. So that's why it uses that. Speed Swap is for Zeraora. That's a good example. I'm trying to think if there's any other examples that it's really good versus. It's mostly for Zeraora, things that are fast. You only need 44 speed if you run Speed Swap. I'll post. I think I messed up the spreads by accident. I meant to put the spread on this set, but I clicked the wrong one. This one should be 44. 44, and then I don't remember where the rest of these go. I should put them wherever. But yeah. So if you use 44, you can run Speed Swap to be Zeraora, be whatever. Yeah, but Speed Swap's not as good. I think that's more of a little bit of a gimmicky thing. The normal one is Eerie Impulse. So you see this set is just mono attack Hyper Beam, right? Its only attack is Hyper Beam. And the premise is you use Eerie Impulse, which lowers their special attack by 2 to beat special attackers. The 70, so you'll see before I had 72 speed on this, right? I'll switch it back to whatever it was. So below you'll have the real sets, but I just messed it up doing this because I was changing them before I started recording. But so Eerie Impulse is for putting things special attack lower. You'll see in some replays we have Magnezone replays, but the 72 speed is to outspeed Modest Magnezone. You use Eerie Impulse, it lowers their special attack, and then you can click recover, heal yourself. Well, they click whatever they want, and you just slowly kind of stall them out. Really good versus really any special attackers that aren't killing you instantly or doing too much damage to you. It does beat Primarina too, depending on what their set is. So, you can Eerie Impulse them down. We'll see some replays of that too. And then you can make them weaker, make yourself stronger. You kill anything with Hyper Beam. Pretty standard. And then this is the last little gimmicky set. It's just a conversion set. So, conversion makes you the type of your first move. So how this works is say something's choiced, right? It's locked into a fighting move, hits you with whatever fighting move it is. Your Choppleberry lets you live, and then you click conversion. Shadow Ball's our first move. It makes us a ghost type. Now they can't hit you anymore. Now you just kill him. I don't know if this is as good. It's a little more situational, but it is fun. And I think one of the reasons Porygon-Z is good is because it has so many options. So there are definitely more sets than this you could run. Different move combinations, different EVs. But just to start off, if you're just learning, you can just copy and paste these and you'll still be able to find success with them. So let's watch some replays. Then we'll quickly talk about, how do you beat this thing and what should I put on teams with it? And then you can go try it yourself. So this actually is not a replay I wanted. I don't know why I saved that one. All right. So here's me over here versus whoever. You can see he has a lot of special attackers on his team. So I send my Porygon-Z out. We'll switch sides. So I'm on the ups side. He clicks Sylveon. I know that Hyper Beam won't be able to kill him, and he's not gonna be able to kill me. So I don't want him to put me to sleep. I click Uproar. He doesn't even try to put me to sleep. He just clicks Fake Tears. I click Uproar again. Boom. He's gone. Easy as that, right? You don't need to do anything crazy. Next game, I'm Porygon-Z. He's level 1 sock, so I know he's going to try to use some like cheese, like toxic stall on me. This is where Trick comes in handy. I just trick him, and now he's stuck in toxic. Boom, boom, easy win. Toxic, good utility, or Trick's a good utility move. So this one, I send my Porygon-Z out. He sends out his Conkeldurr. I just literally just click Hyper Beam. I'm faster than this. Boom, Hyper Beam. He's goner. This is you just saw in my last game I tricked. These are just choice sets. So now I'm using a different team. We'll switch sides. He clicks his Urshifu. I click my Porygon-Z. And this is why Chople Berry is so good, right? He's actually afraid of me being Chople Berry, so he doesn't click Close Combat because he thinks that I'm Chople Berry and I won't be able to die. It doesn't really make sense for him to do that because he might as well click it anyway. But then I just click Hyper Beam, boom, Urshifu is gone. A fighting type just lost to my normal type. This one's a good example of, when you can use. So I nasty plot because I'm not sure what set this is, and I don't want to click Hyper Beam and him be Assault Vest because I can lose like that. So I nasty plotted first just to see what he would do. He clicks Superpower. I'm Chople Berry. The Superpower does absolutely nothing, and I click Hyper Beam and I do miss, but it doesn't matter because his next Superpower, since my first one Chople damage, half the damage, gives me an extra turn. I click Hyper Beam, boom, beat Fighting Stab. This is basically the exact same scenario where he sends out his Scolipede, I send out my Porygon-Z, he clicks Superpower on me, my Chople Berry hits, makes me live when normally I would have died because it would have done double that damage, right? Which is 106%. I click Hyper Beam, Scolipede, gone. That's why Chople Berry is so good, because it makes like matchups at your opponent when you look at the team previews like, oh, I'll just click my fighting type and it will beat Porygon-Z, but it doesn't. So this is a game where he sends Rillaboom out. He clicks his banded. Actually, that wasn't banded. That didn't do enough damage. That was just Grassy Glide. Actually, it might have been banded because I'm pretty sure I am more defensive Chople Berry on this set. I live easily. Hit Hyper Beam. He's dead. This is the same thing. Like all these Chople Berry games are just so nice. Like he clicks Drain Punch on me, does absolutely nothing. I get to nasty plot in his face because I'm faster than him. Hyper Beam just drops everybody. This is there's nothing he can even do. I'm just clicking Hyper Beam and things are dropping, right? Like everything dies. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay. So, I go for a trick. He is smart and he clicks Seismic Toss, but as you can see, it's like not gonna do enough damage to me to kill me in 3. So he needs to use 4, which means I can always use my recharges to survive. Like as you see, I keep clicking recover to put myself so I know I won't die to 2. So I'll probably, and then he eventually just forfeits because he realizes that he can't win because I'll be able to just Hyper Beam him 2 more times, and that will win me the game. And that's why recover plus trick is so useful. Like it beats a thing that's normally a special wall that just walls all special Pokemon. Just can't win because of the trick recover combo. This is just, I think, he clicks knock off of my choice specs. I live because of that extra defense we had. Remember, as we looked at the sets, we go back here. Here's choice specs. I have 148 defense. I live on 1 HP, and kill him with Hyper Beam. And that's why like putting the defense in is actually really nice, just for random things like that. So here's another example of trick. I click trick on him. He goes for Cell Smash because he wouldn't be able to kill me otherwise. And yeah, loses. Here's versus Smelly Socks. He sends his Rillaboom out there. He clicks Fake Out, which does kind of a lot of damage to me. He is Life Orb. And this is where the defense comes in again, because he clicked Grassy Glide. I live, hit him with Hyper Beam. He dies. Because of those defense. He even says, oh, it's that PZ, right? Because he wasn't sure which set I was, so he didn't know how defensive I could be, which, ends up winning me the game. This is a good one, me versus Pre-Marina. I don't think I can kill him in one shot. He might be AV. I'm not really sure. I click Uproar just to make sure. He ends up being Calm Mind. Bada boom, bada bing. He's a goner. Last few here. Me versus PQs. This is a good one of what Eerie Impulse working. I click my Eerie Impulse right away. He uses his Specs Hyper Beam on me. Can't kill me. So now I'm just recovering. He's always going to be doing less damage unless he crits me, which is not in his favor because he only has 8 Hyper Beams. He just forfeits because he realizes that he just isn't going to win unless he gets a crit on me, and he doesn't even try for it. He just says, I'm out of there. This is another just by general bulk being useful. Kills Obstagoon. I don't die. And then last one here is just me playing against Stall Rillaboom, which I knew he was, which is why I nasty plotted first so I could kill him with Uproar, but didn't even need to because I just clicked Hyper Beam. So, as you can see, I was literally just clicking Porygon-Z basically every game, and I was still having a ton of success. I know those are oh, you were collecting Porygon-Z replays. I was literally laddering and clicking Porygon-Z every single game with multiple teams, and I was still hovering right around 1500, which is crazy. That's basically me using one mon, right? So if you're a newer player, or you're just struggling in general, having a tough day on ladder, just slap a Porygon-Z on one of your teams. It's so strong. So now, what counters Porygon-Z? So the initial thought would be fighting types, right? But we saw that fighting types don't necessarily win. They don't always beat Scarf. They don't always beat Chople. The real counters, ghost types. As you can see, most of these Porygon-Zs literally can't hit ghosts. So if you have any offensive ghost type, at all, any ghost type with an attack, you pretty much win. Dragapult, super hard counter. Dragapult wins. Gengar wins. Let's just click this and click ghost type, and let's see what else is out there. Marowak. Marowak's killing you. Aegislash is killing you. You can't beat Chandelure. You can't beat Palisand if anyone's running that. Basically any ghost type that's not completely stall, like Cursula, you just can't beat them. You don't have the moves to hit them, and even if you are running Shadow Ball, that doesn't even always beat Dragapult. So Dragapult's really hard counter. Aegislash can be a really difficult thing for you to deal with too, depending on what set he is. So yeah, Sub-Disable, obviously pretty good versus you. Anything that has substitute, if you're not running Uproar. So that's the thing. There are things that are good versus you, right? If you're Specs, you can't beat fighting types, but it gets a little sketchy because fighting types will lose to you if your other sets. That's why Porygon-Z is S rank, because it has sets that beat its normal counters consistently, and it's really hard to figure out which one they are based on your team preview. That's why it's so strong. So now let's think about what are good teammates for my Porygon-Z. Because I want to use Porygon-Z, it's so strong. What teammates do I need? So you want things that are going to beat these ghosts, which gives you, mostly dark types, right? Things that are dark type, those are good teammates because they're going to beat ghosts for you, which you need. So, you can try whatever dark type you want. Incineroar is really good partner, because it's a dark type. that has intimidate, can change moves up, can beat some stall mons that might give you a hard time. Um, Crocodile. You can see I was literally using a team with Crocodile on it while we were playing. Really, any dark type is pretty good, but notice that when you use a dark type to beat the ghost, that stacks you with a fighting weakness. So dark types can be really good if you're using, like, say you want to use Urshifu and you want to use Chople, Porygon-Z. So now you have, two things that are seemingly weak to fighting, but your Porygon-Z is actually not weak to fighting. So that can be really good. Fairies are also good if you're not using Chople. So you can put like a Azumarill on there. Sylveon, Primarina, fairy types that are going to be able to beat like Dragapult for you. They're going to be able to beat like any fighting type that comes out. Like most are Shifu variants. Really, like whatever Sock. You have Quick Attack, Aqua Jet for Sock that Porygon-Z has a hard time dealing with. So yeah, but fairy types are good, but that also stacks your weakness to Gengar. So you might want a third teammate that can beat Gengar for you, since Gengar is kind of a hard matchup, so you don't really have anything to hit it. Or maybe you want to run Shadow Ball in that set to beat Gengar if you can, if you're like Scarf, whatever. So normally I would say use Fairy, use Dark types. You can even use like Ghosts. Your own strong ghost type to beat other ghosts and also protect you from fighting moves, which can be a good time. Like you can use your own Dragapult to beat other ghosts, and you can use and also maybe beat some fighting types with that. Those are really the main things I would try with it that I've liked. You can look at the teams I was just using in that replay. Like I was using Primarina with it, right? Because of the fairy typing. I was using Crocodile, and now I was just using other strong things alongside of it. So yeah, I think that's going to be all for PZ. I hope you learned something. Use PZ. It's so good, so strong. Best Pokemon in the meta currently. Pick these sets up, put them in your team builder, build the teams on your own. You can build them on your own even if you're a new player. Just think of, like, I just gave you some types that you can use. Try to use a Gengar with your Porygon-Z. Try to use a Primarina with your Porygon-Z. I would post the teams for you, but I actually don't have them because shout out to all the people who have helped me, like Smelly Socks, Zio, Pazza, PQs, TDA, Nally, like Potato Chan gave me these sets in a paste bin, so I could easily just post them on here. Thank you everyone for helping me out, but all those guys learned themselves VG too. I learned myself. You can learn yourself. Now that you have resources, something you can listen to, you can watch, use these sets, and you'll have success. So thanks you for watching, everyone. Hope you're enjoying. I will be back again next week with 2 more. I was going to do 3 a week, but I'm going to do 2 just because I have a ton of other Smogon stuff I'm doing, which is just taking up more time than I had previously thought. I'll be putting 2 of these out a week, maybe more if I have time, but I'm just going to go through all the really strong things. Next week I'm probably going to do Urshifu plus like Rillaboom, or like Urshifu plus... It's going to be Urshifu because I already have all those. Urshifu plus something. But I hope you guys enjoy. Hope you learned something. Hope you have good success on ladder tours, whatever you want to play. World Cup, blah, 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 blah. Hope you get something out of this. Appreciate everyone watching. Leave a like, subscribe down below for more, and I will see you guys next time.